Yes, so so the language is this. So, and we put it down here because we wanted people to understand where it shifted. So we have beginner, intermediate, and advanced. Now advanced is into, intermediate has been split into two. But the new language is entering, emerging, transitioning, and expanding. That's how the nicest lat is going to give you the information.
But the transition is what confuses a lot of people because it used to be for proficient kids.
Right, but no, proficient kids are proficient kids, right? So let's all have the same language. There'll be a glossary with this, but this is the language. Transitioning is the services that you're giving transition kids, right? But they were always either proficient, and now those kids are commanding, right? So that is the language. That's how the nicest slide is going to be actually. That's how it's going to be reported this year. But it'll also have beginner underneath until we get used to the new language. Yes?
Even at the 9-12 level, for transitioning and expanding, the ENL content area integrated can be any content area, including ELA?
Yes.
6:30.
Yes. Like I said, that will be up next month. And when we go up for public comment, say yay, because we need that to happen quickly, okay? All right. So go into the bilingual now, we said.
This should be the last part.
Oh, quick question. So I almost forgot why I was talking to you about the long-term health. We don't want inconsistent schooling. So we know that we're starting bilingual programs, right? Come September, we have to have bilingual programs. So now you have kids that have been with you K, 1, and 2 in an ESOL program, and 3rd grade. You are not going to start now a bilingual program in 3rd grade because you have those numbers. We're not doing that. Does that make sense? So that should put a lot of you at ease, right? So let's think about it. We're not going to take those kids that have been receiving ENL services for the last 4 years. We're not going to do that. However, if you have kids at K1, you may want to do it there. But after that, I would not do it. But you want those programs also. If you know you get an influx, for some reason, there's some districts that get an influx of 9th graders, and I say for some reason, maybe how we're awarding credits, but let's say that we have an influx of 9th graders, you know that you have to have that program in the 9th grade. And the majority of the kids that are going to be in that program are what? New arrivals. Does that make sense? In a district, in a smaller district, and you may have those, you may want to think about having a dual language program. Serves all the kids. Else can go into a dual language program at any point. So let's think about what makes sense in the districts. There's not one way. What I want you to kind of think about this regulation is that there's not one way to do this. There isn't. You have to think about what makes sense and who your population is. We are not encouraging you now to start a 5th grade bilingual program if your kids have been with you and you only have 2 kids that are arriving. If that's your pattern, you're not going to do that. And this will be in writing, just so everybody feels comfortable about that. But what would I do? I would open up a dual language program. Very successful programs, very highly sought after programs, which are the most successful programs for English language learners. And other kids that are involved, non-English language learners as well. Okay, so bilingual programs. How many of you have bilingual programs in your districts? How many of you are going to have bilingual programs in your district? Oh, very nice. Smile. Okay, so let's look at what that looks like. Same thing, so we have K to 8, we have the beginner, 180, standalone, the same flexibility. This is the same, right? But then you have one home language class, home language arts, and then a minimum of 2 content area classes. So you have the flexibility. What is that going to be based on as well? Students, but staffing. Staffing. That's what it looks like. And then depending on your, could you scroll down a little bit? Yeah. depending on your students, so let's say there has to be a transition. So this is a transitional bilingual program. There has to be a transition. We go from 2 classes to 1, and then the question mark we have there, this is what the lawyers have to answer, that's why we can't send it to you, is the 1 or 0 for the advanced students. Once they make that determination, we'll send that out to you. So I did not show you this chart because I'm not supposed to be showing this chart without getting approval. But this is what it looks like. You're gradually taking away some of the home language. However, home language stays. If you see across the board, home language stays. You don't take away the home language. Why? It's a bilingual class. But why else? What do we know? What did I say earlier? If you're strong in your home language, you're going to learn English faster. You're going to learn English faster. Period. That's just the way it goes. So we don't take that away. Ever. Regardless of their level. But you can have a combination. So there's a lot of flexibility. Who gets to decide that? You guys do. What content areas? You guys do. What I would do is thinking long term. So if I'm starting a kindergarten program, do I do math in the second language? Yes. Do we have materials in both languages? We will after the next 2 months. We will have all the math materials in 5 languages. So do I do that? Yes, that makes sense to do that. Why? Because I can also continue it in first grade and in second grade. Do I do it in social studies in the lower grade? Absolutely. Maybe I want to do science. What does it look like? But you want to have continuity. You don't want to now give them in kindergarten science and then in second grade not give them science and Spanish and then in third grade give them science again in Spanish. So you have to pay attention to that. We're not flip-flopping back and forth. Okay, go to the the 9 to 12. Is this making this a little clearer for you? Yes? Okay, good. Make it a little bigger. Okay, so same thing here. Go down a little, Lisa. So we have the minutes. It does not change. You have, go down a little further. So the classes. So how are you starting your bilingual program in high school? Same thing. So you have this wonderful math teacher. You're going to do it across the board. You're going to have math, right? So maybe you don't have that chemistry teacher. So you don't do chemistry. So what does it look like? And how do you actually extend it? And we're more than happy to have those conversations as you start putting your schedule together. We're more than happy to have a conversation with you, look it over, talk some of the kinks out. But a lot of it is going to be based on how you schedule. And I know that you're doing your programs now. That's why we hope to have this out on Monday for you so that you can start thinking about it, looking at it. And like I said, we welcome your questions. I know that Terry can answer a lot of your questions. But if you have immediate things that you need someone to address, I would go to Terry right away. But if you need us, if there's something that you say, okay, we've done this, can you take a look at it? We're more than happy to do that. We can't, don't send me 15 schedules because we don't have the manpower to do that, in all honesty. But if some of you have some great ideas, the only thing that we will do once you send us your schedule is that we would like to share. We'll take your district name off and we would like to share that, so that other people see other ways of doing it. Okay? Any questions? Yes?
It's not a question, it's just that we have a coordinators meeting that's scheduled for March 27th. We're having our regular informational presentational thing in the morning, but we are having a professional learning community in the afternoon. So if this comes out in time and people want to bring schedules to cross-compare and share with each other, that would be a wonderful opportunity for all of us.
Well, let me give you even an incentive. We're told it'll come out on Monday. If it doesn't come out on Monday, we'll give it to Terry as drafts and you can use it at that session.
Thank you.
Okay? So that's a little motivation to come and attend if you don't have that. But we're hoping it comes out on Monday. If it doesn't, we will make sure that she has it and that you guys can look at it and have this information. Okay, I know that you had sets of questions for me.
What we've done was ask in advance from our members to submit questions, and we tried to group them together by topic. I think we answered a lot of them already today with this insightful presentation. Ms. Infante, I think the group has a general idea of the intent of the regulations, and what you provided with some of the specifics, I think, is more of what folks are asking for today, and we thank you for that. There are still many questions, and we appreciate your being available to answer those. Already